Hi everyone and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. So today I'm going to talk to you about something that's really helped shift my life. And not only has it helped shift my life, but it's helped change my client's life. So it is all about paradigms today, and I'm going to talk to you about what it is and how it affects our clients. But before I do, I'm going to talk a little bit about myself. So I'm a PGI certified consultant. Bob Proctor and Sandy Gallagher are my mentors who've really helped make this shift happen for me. And I'm also a strategic intervention coach. So I studied Tony Robbins and Chloe Medana's strategic intervention coaching program. So together I've integrated the two, and it's made an amazing difference into the way that I coach my clients. And I'm more than happy to share this information with you because I feel that it will make an amazing difference to your clients. So paradigms and how they're going to affect your clients or your clients' results. So the two things that you must know to create or help shift create some results is to understand where you are and where you are going. Now, you need to be able to have a direction. So although this seems pretty simple and obvious, it's not all that easy to a lot of our clients that we're coaching, as you know, because there is something that is stopping them from coming out of the spiral. And so although goals might look like something that's pretty obvious, so you might think, well, it might be a lack of goals, and that might be true for some, and yet even though there are those that do have goals, sometimes they just simply unable to achieve the results that they want. And that's because there is a gap between the knowing and doing gap. And that gap is caused by our, wait for it, our paradigms. So understanding our paradigms and breaking through those limiting beliefs is the only way that's going to help us get to the freedom to achieve the results that we want to achieve. So it's understanding where we are, where we're going. So bridging the gap between the two by shifting our paradigms. So what is a paradigm? Well, a paradigm is a mental program that has almost exclusive control over our habitual behavior. And almost all of our behavior is habitual. It's very important to understand. It's a mental program. So we basically are reprogramming or changing our clients' mindset. And by helping them understand what paradigms are, they can then better achieve the results that they want. And this is an excellent quote which I thought I'd throw in by Sandy Gallagher. And she says that fear and growth go hand in hand. When you courageously face the thing you fear, you automatically experience the growth you have been seeking. Look, it's the only way to be able to break through the paradigm. And often we find our clients resisting the fear that tend to happen as a result of bringing them out of their comfort zone. The resistance is not doing them any favor. It's facing the fear. It's understanding that, yes, in order to come out of that comfort zone and in towards the results that you want to achieve, you're going to experience some uncomfortable feelings. And that's where the growth happens. It's when you step over that, that's when the magic starts to occur. But it's helping them understand, well, how is it, that you can help them understand what's going on in their mental faculties, in their mind, that's going to bridge the difference between the knowing and doing. So if I were to ask you, what does your mind look like? What is the picture that comes into your mind? It's not a trick question. What does your mind look like? Now, if you thought of the brain, you're probably not the only one. And that is because our mind thinks in pictures. Now, if I were to ask you what your car looks like, you would immediately form a picture of your car. If I were to ask you what your kitchen looked like, a picture of your kitchen will show up. So our mind is an activity, right? That's because we don't have a picture of the mind. Okay, so when we think of the mind, we think of the brain. But in actual fact, our mind is an activity. And it wasn't until Bob Proctor decided to go on his journey and try to get his hands on anything that he possibly could to try and understand exactly the power of the mind and how it truly works. And so it wasn't until then that he came across to a gentleman by the name of Leland Val Vanderwall. And Leland Val Vanderwall, he introduced Bob to a doctor by the name of Dr. Thurman Fleet. Now, Dr. Fleet was involved in the healing arts, and he found that others in his profession were falling short of doing the job that they needed to be done. So he said that they were actually treating the symptom rather than the actual cause. He said they actually needed to start to look at the person, start treating the person as a whole, on a holistic level. And so it wasn't until then that he came up with the stick figure, the stick person. So let's have a look at the stick person. So the big circle represents our mind and the little circle represents our body. So we can divide the mind up into the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. So our conscious mind is the thinking mind. It's the educated mind, where our intellect comes from. Our subconscious mind is the emotional part of our mind. Now, the conscious mind has the ability to accept and reject information. This is where we originate thoughts and ideas. The subconscious mind cannot reject information. It does not know the difference between what is real and what is imagined. Now, this is really important to understand because the conscious mind is the result of our five senses. It's the subconscious mind that taps into all of our mental faculties, okay, which I'm happy to go into at a later video. But at this stage, let's focus on the paradigm and how this has a major effect. So let's have a look at this. So we all know that we have a power that flows to and through us. And so when we're thinking on a negative vibration, or if we're thinking negative thoughts, obviously we're going to have negative results. So allow this space to be the bondage space. So we have what's called the X-type energy. If you're placing X-type thoughts into your conscious mind or your subconscious mind, this is going to filter through the body into unwanted results, right? So you're going to get negative results. Now, something magical happens though. So the individual decides that they want to be able to come out of that spiral. They want to finally break free from the mental state they are in. And they seek the help of you as their coach. And this is a great idea, you know, because this is finally, they are starting to express something about themselves, you know, that they're finally wanting to make that change. They want to come out of that spiral. This is called the reasoning phase. So this is a good stage to be in, but it can be conflicting because what you then move into is what we refer to an XY energy, XY type energy. And when we're in an X-type energy, we're going to hit a wall and what we refer to as the terror barrier. So this is the part of the mind, all of a sudden, your client's like, oh my goodness, I cannot do this. I can't go on forward because your X-type energy is telling them, who do you think you are? You can't do this. And their Y-type is telling them, well, yes, it's about time I started to make some change. So there is conflicting energy between the two thoughts. And so they hit the wall, they're unable to break through the wall into freedom, and so they bounce back into the bondage phase, and they have to go through the whole process all over again. But being in the bondage stage, at least they're going in this time with a little bit of experience. So ultimately, we need to get them into like a Y-type energy and get that destructive thinking completely out of the way. We need to get them to face what it is that they're fearing. And the only reason that they tend to be in this stage is because of their lack of understanding. So if you lack understanding or ignorance, you're going to naturally create a form of worry and doubt, which is then going to create some fear. And that fear will then produce an anxiety through the body. So our body is an instrument of our mind. So when we experience anxiety, that often leads to then depression. So you have what's called a negative result. So you're not getting the results that you desire, right? So it's up to us as coaches to help them understand what is going on in their mind. And the only way we do that is through knowledge. So they study what it is that they need in order to break through that wall towards freedom. They need to understand what their paradigms are and to shift that paradigm. So through understanding and faith, it's only then they can move towards a positive well-being. And you all know this, but it's helping them understand that they have this paradigm, which is a multitude of habitual behaviors, that is the cause of the results that has been giving them almost all their life. And it's breaking down those behaviors. So when they're in that positive well-being, they have an understanding, they've created a sense of faith, they are going to move into a higher state of vibration. So what's happening? They're going to feel great. They move into a high state of well-being, and that's going to help them take action towards their goals, and which is going to obviously lead them into freedom. It's such a win-win situation. It's a win-win for everybody. And when they're in this mental state, this is when paradigm shift occurs. You know, this is when they're breaking through the wall in towards freedom. And it's such a happy, joy for everybody. And it's truly a really good feeling when you do create a paradigm shift within the mind, because it then can dictate the results that we want in our life. So I hope you got a lot out of that. It is truly informative and very invaluable knowledge to understand our paradigms, where they come from, how to face them, and how we can break through the terror barrier when it does come up, and make our way through towards freedom. So if you have any questions or anything, I'm more than happy to answer them. Feel free to contact or visit me at my website. And I hope you really enjoyed that as much as I did. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact. Thank you again for your time.